Top 50 favorite games ever. Let's go. Hey, I'm Charlie from Purposeless Rabbit Holes. You are currently on Purposeful Rabbit Holes, my second newer channel. Don't worry if you don't know who I am and just want some slop content, because I am here to provide. Today I just wanted to illuminate some of my favorite games and basically use it as an excuse to just yap. Some of my choices will tantalize and some of them will horrify, I'm sure. We're gonna start from the bottom right down here and just move our way up the rows backwards until we get to number 1 at the top here, my favorite game ever, which has been, I mean, if you can even see my tattoo right now, it's spoiled, but we'll get to that. And number 50 goes to Hotline Miami, which is just a modern classic. Oh my god, it's so simple and efficient in what it does, and it's such a novel take on the action. It's not even a roguelike, it's just the bite-sized format. It's so addictive and so compelling. But outside of the game itself, I just have a lot of really personal memories with this game. This was the game that me and my group of early college friends, we all bonded in the dorm room around 2013, and in our first year, we all spent like a week or two just like banging our heads against this game together, passing the controller around. One person tries, they die. Another person tries, they die. Passing it around, everybody screaming at the fucking TV. It was just beautiful times, and I'll always have that with this game. That's gonna be a big part of it's my top 50 favorite games ever, so there are going to be a lot of memories associated with these games that I'll be going through, just talking about their importance to me. But yeah, I mean, Hotline Miami is just a fucking banger and everybody knows it. One of the best soundtracks ever. Oh my god, the fucking Moon songs. Half of those songs are just like drilled into my memory through obsessive repetition, but also because the songs are just so fucking awesome. Number 49 is a much more recent addition to the list, and it is Alan Wake 2, which is just a completely fucking insane video game. I enjoyed, man, this fucking game. Just the opening, to talk about that for a second. Playing fucking the intro of Alan Wake 2 on like a fucking 80-inch TV and just having this shit hit you in the face. I mean, it's fucking something else. Throughout the entirety of Alan Wake 2, I was enjoying it so much. I was so giddy. It just made me smile and got me thinking and got me excited and constantly surprised me with its creativity, with its weird writing decisions, weird abstract, extremely metatextual, brilliant structure and you know, all that kind of stuff. I have a list on my phone, or a note, of moments that I was writing down as they happened. I was having so much fun playing Alan Wake 2 on my first playthrough that I had to compose a list as I was going of things that made me like stand up or exclaim or smile or laugh. Like, you know, like it's a game full of moments like that, and I just want to look through this list real quick. Spoilers for Alan Wake 2. If you haven't played it, and if you're a fan of horror games like Resident Evil 2 Remake, I mean, this is basically Remedy's version of Resident Evil 2 Remake, with a lot of different design decisions, but once you pick it up, you'll realize, holy shit, this plays exactly like RE2. But regardless, wholly recommend if you haven't played it. It's just a crazy fucking game from start to finish. But spoilers, here is my list of all the moments, and it's a long list, so I'm just gonna rattle through as fast as I can. Opening and title card. The first time Casey and Saga drink coffee at the same time, I just thought that shit was adorable. The FBC machine going off, this like eerie sound. The first Coscola Brothers commercial. Walking up on the FBC working on their machine, like meeting the FBC at Cauldron Lake for the first time. That shit was such a big moment for me as a Control fan. The morgue attack sequence, the first live-action Alan Wake dreamlike TV interview, and which included Sam Lake's first appearance on screen in live action, which was like, oh my god, the so few people can get away with inserting themselves directly into their own art, but like Sam Lake, I loved it every time he was on screen. It was so good because there's so much history behind it. He is the face of Mad Max, and Mad Max has been voiced by, insert name here, I'm sorry, he passed away recently, and he's amazing. That actor has come back to play Alex Casey, who also looks like Sam Lake, who looks like Mad Max, who's playing a character that's sort of like Mad Max. It's insane. It's so layered, and it's so thought out, and it's so creative and bold that Sam Lake showing up in person as a cool guy. Like, it just works. It just works. Oh my god, when you see the Casper Darling book on the table, literally the bullet point here that says in all caps, Casper Darling book. Ah! Okay, actually this list goes on for so much longer that I can't even... I'll just have to maybe make an Alan Wake video. Not gonna happen, but still. Game is full of incredible moments. It's super creative. It's gorgeous. It's atmospheric. It's got everything, even though it does have also its own problems. It's not a perfect game. Its combat is not perfect. Its pacing is a little off. It's open world. It's not an open world, but its open environments tend to feel sterile and not like... They do feel lived in, but they do also feel sterile and like you can't really interact with them. The game has another of Remedy's, like, to me, notoriously pointless and bad, upgrade systems. I didn't upgrade any of Saga or Alan's special things throughout the game, and I didn't feel any kind of impact from that decision across my normal mode playthrough. Looks like they're bringing back another fucking upgrade system in Control Resonance. I am not excited for that shit. Maybe they'll get it right this time, I don't know, but I don't really have faith after Control and Alan Wake 2's weird upgrade systems. The game actually does have a lot of flaws that I could continue to go through, but it is so clearly a work of love and passion done by masters and a studio who is at the top of its craft. So this is kind of like a modern Silent Hill 2 for me, I think. I think this is a sort of game that is going to be revered and looked up to despite its flaws for the next 10, 20 years. Number 48 goes to another classic, another broadly considered to be classic game, God of War 3. America's Devil May Cry. Never got better than this in terms of our country's output of hack and slash games. I'm sure it has, somewhere, sometime, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. God of War is the iconic American hack and slash series, and God of War 3 is the apex, gameplay-wise, of course, of that series. And I still have more fun playing God of War 3 than I do playing 2018 or Ragnarok, even though I really do enjoy both of those games to varying degrees. I'm a Greek Saga person myself. I grew up on that shit. I bought a PS2 just to play the first God of War when I was 11 or some shit. I'm currently in the middle of another God of War 3 playthrough right now, so this one's really fresh in my mind, and it is just so good. It's such a fun, narratively, it's such a fun climax to Kratos' whole saga across his Greek games. It's just rage and fire and blood and death, and him being one of the most reprehensible sort of game protagonists of that era, and maybe of all time, because he really... yes, the Greek gods in this series are monsters, they really always are portrayed to be, but he becomes a bigger monster. He kills basically all of humanity, and it's just insane, and the game matches up gameplay-wise to that, structure of destroying the whole world. You feel like such a badass. The combat feels so punchy and meaty. The suite of weapons is great, better than, I think, 1 or 2's extra weapons. Of course, you have 3 different sets of Blades on Chains. They just figured out that, hey, we're never gonna get better than the Blades of Chaos, so let's just do more Blades on Chains. And you know what? Fuck it, it worked. I'm sorry, I burped. They also added the Nemean Cestus, I think is the way you say it. It's an awesome game that makes you feel like a complete badass. It fully commits to its tone, to its point, and to serve as the climax of this insane series. Endlessly replayable, so much fun, fucking classic for a reason. Number 47 is a weird one that nobody will know what the fuck I'm talking about. It is Second Sight. This is a telekinesis action stealth game by the creators of Timesplitters. I believe this game came out in 2005. I think after Timesplitters 2, before Future Perfect. Like Alan Wake 2, and like a lot of the games that will be on my list, it is imperfect. There are obvious flaws. You look at any interview of the creators of this game from the past 10 or 15 years, and they always say, God, I wish we could have spent more time on it. I wish we could have refined the controls a little bit more and it would have been a bigger hit. And I think they honestly are right. It's an awkward to control game, so I'm sure if you try it nowadays, you might bounce off it pretty quickly. But it is really, really good and really worth investing your time in and worth getting used to the controls. You can buy it on Steam. As far as I know, I have it on Steam. I'm not sure if it's actually up for purchase right now. But if it is, you should buy it. You can sort of set up your own Steam controller thing to give yourself the experience that you want. And with all that in mind, what you get is a really good, you know, simple sort of popcorn story, an espionage thriller about a guy who gets psychic abilities and wakes up in a facility, doesn't know where he is, and then he is going through flashbacks to how he got there, going on a sort of secret military mission. It's a simple, straightforward thriller, but with like a good twist. And the gameplay, I think, is really, really solid. It's low-key stealth. You don't play as a very powerful character. You have firearms and you have telekinetic abilities, and you're sort of sneaking and shooting your way through these semi-linear sort of branching path levels. And it's just fucking solid, man. It's just a solid, stocky fucking game that does not get the love or attention that it deserves. Satisfying powers and stealth gameplay. It's just one of those games that once you get to grips with its kind of funky controls and kind of hard to grasp, like how does the AI work? How alert are they? What can they respond to? Once you sort of play with it and take it on its own terms, it becomes this really fun, emergent stealth action game. 46. Basic bitch choice, but you gotta have it. Any fucking pro gamer's gotta have this on their list. Halo Combat Evolved. One of the best games of all time. Like, duh. This is a game I got this fucking game. Can you imagine this shit? I got this game on Christmas when I was like 9 or 10. I got an Xbox, an original Xbox, and Halo Combat Evolved on Christmas morning. Can you fucking imagine? I am so lucky to have had that. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad, for giving me that experience to be able to play fucking Halo Combat Evolved on Christmas goddamn morning. And this was like a year after I got in trouble for playing Halo at my friend's house, because I don't know, I think I must have been below 10 when Halo came out, 7 or 8 maybe, but I was playing at my friend Nick's house when we were both really young, and it was M, even though Halo shouldn't even fucking be M. But yeah, I got in trouble for playing it. He did too. His parents didn't realize it was M, but my parents eventually gave in and bought it for me because they saw how much fun I was having, and just playing those first levels, that opening, like Pillar of Autumn is great, but that second level, which I think is just called Halo, that second level, man, I just so vividly remember playing through that level and the subsequent maybe 3 or 4 levels. What is it? It's like, it's Truth and Reconciliation. And then I think is the Silent Cartographer after that. I remember playing, if that's the name of the level, the beach level, the iconic fucking beach level. Just playing that on Christmas morning, or early Christmas day after you've gone to because you play it a little bit in the morning and then you go do family stuff and then you got to come back afterwards and continue playing. But just like in midday, oh my God, a child could not have a more formative video game experience that sets them down the path to be a fucking pro gamer for life. Iconic game feel. One of the best main characters in video game history. We love the Flood. We love all the levels. We love all the multiplayer levels. Everything. Perfection. Nirvana. Unbeatable. Only reason it's not higher up is because I played Halo 2 and 3 and I do love the original Halo trilogy. It's like classics all. But I'm not the biggest first-person shooter guy. I love them, but it's not, I don't know, I wouldn't consider myself like that's my genre. And I don't play Halo anymore. The newer games I don't play. But still, I fucking love this game. 45. Dishonored. Kind of my first taste of the genre of immersive sims, or I guess I should say like the design philosophy of immersive sims. Because whether or not it's a genre is debatable. I don't know. If you ask somebody what an immersive sim is, you probably get a different answer from person to person. But regardless, Dishonored is an incredible stealth action hybrid immersive sim video game. Incredible stuff. Some of the best levels I've ever played. Lady Boyle's Last Party, where you get to dress up as an enemy and infiltrate an active party and interact with the partygoers looking for your target who is dressed up in an outfit that has been duplicated on a couple of other people. It's amazing. I mean, like every game on this list, Dishonored kind of has it all. The game feel is incredible. The level design is best in class. You can't really get much better than Dishonored level design. Character design and art design, top-notch, beautiful, stylistic, exaggerated. I don't want to use the word cartoonish, but borders on cartoonish. It's just kind of got everything. And it even has DLC, which increases the length of the game by like double. And the DLC, I think, is potentially, in parts, even better than the main game. I think the narrative of Dishonored 1's DLC is the best narrative that the series has ever told. It's good old-fashioned fun. I love the powers. Oh my god. The suite of powers that Corvo has at his disposal are some of the best, like, video game powers in the world. Blink. I love blasting motherfuckers with a fully upgraded wind blast. Summoning rats that just devour people instantly. Like, I don't know. If you haven't played Dishonored, you are really missing out. And number 44. Oh, lots of games with dark in the title. But this one is The Darkness from 2007. This is a special shooter. This is a game that I would classify as, like, there's elevated horror nowadays, right? A24 movies people classify as elevated horror, Hereditary, Bring Her Back, that kind of stuff. I would consider The Darkness an elevated shooter. I'm coining that now. If anybody else says it, I said it first. Nobody else has ever said that. It's just got such a quality and a unique texture and structure to it that I find myself pulled back to it once every like 3 or 4 years for another playthrough. And it's a breezy game. You can beat The Darkness in like 7 or 8 hours. If you take your time, maybe you can squeeze 12 hours out of it, but if you're playing quickly, you can probably beat it in like 6 hours. It's a short game. I wish it was longer. I wish it had more meat on its bones, but it is sort of an exercise in like kind of minimal storytelling, but being really effective with your minimal storytelling. I mean, this is like the comic books, and spoilers for The Darkness and for Jackie Estacato's sort of origins. It's the story of a young gangster who is set up by his, basically, I only play Yakuza games, so I'm just gonna use the term family patriarch. He's set up by his family patriarch, or his big boss, to get killed. The boss kills his girlfriend as well, and it's about just getting revenge for the death of your girlfriend through supernatural vengeance, of course, as you can see by the little snakes on his shoulders. The devious shoulder snakes. I love them. They got so much character. It has such a weird form as a game. It's like semi-open world, but the open world is like completely empty. You play in a New York that is like somehow like abandoned. There's like 10 people on the streets. It's a very weird liminal sort of atmosphere that the game cultivates, but it creates a very unique effect and adds a quiescence to the whole journey that elevates a simple story through really dense atmosphere and dense emotion. It's a very evocative game. The gameplay itself is really solid, really grounded and down and dirty. I wouldn't say it's like great. It's kind of not super responsive, although it plays good enough. The powers of The Darkness are fun. You know, it's a game with a lot going for it, even though it's short. It feels like clearly a lot of it was cut out, but regardless, it succeeds on its own merits, and I, again, find myself coming back to it all the time. Next up at 43 is Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. Oh no! I just realized the width. We gotta add one more. I gotta rearrange the fucking... Oh no, it's all fucked up now. Okay, screen rearranged. We're good, we're set. Still losing like 1 or 2 down there. You don't care. Anyway, number 43 is another arcane game right after Dishonored. It is Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. This is a game that I've already made a video on. Like Second Sight, I guess we'll go through and catalog which games I've actually made videos on or included in videos at the end of this. But yeah, I made a whole video comparing Dishonored and Dark Messiah years ago, probably like 8 years ago or some shit. Funny video, I think. Maybe it holds up. I haven't watched it in a long time, but Dark Messiah definitely holds up. This is just an amazing, goofy, ridiculous action game. If any game that you love has a really strong kick, it is entirely owed to Dark Messiah of Might and Magic and the boot of Sereth. All I remember is a big booty bitch. So again, this game has it all. No game on this list so far has had, well, actually God of War 3, never mind. Dark Messiah is amazing. It's like, it is kind of also an immersive sim like Dishonored, a game where you have a lot of choice, but it's more so like choice how you defeat your enemies, choice within your action sphere. The choices therein are so much fun. The destructible environments, the way you can kick enemies into environmental hazards, the actual sword play and magic play is really tactile and grounded in a physicality that not a lot of games, even attempt. Story-wise, it's really nothing to write home about. You have some interesting choices in the back half. You can make some narrative good or bad choices. This was kind of the beginning of Arcane's ethical decision-making, moral decision-making. To sum it up quickly, Dark Messiah is a really well-made action game that will make you laugh your fucking ass off. The fucking chandelier action scene, dude, that's Looney Tunes shit. Number 42, and I'm curious how people are gonna feel about this one. It is Splinter Cell Blacklist. Based? Not based? You tell me. I don't give a shit. Yeah, oh god, yeah, you can see like a quarter of that screen. Blacklist, I think, and I think this is probably a universally shared opinion for the most part, but it is a great combination of Splinter Cell Convictions, less traditional design choices, and classic Splinter Cell. You can play it like Conviction, or you can play it a little bit more like Pandora Tomorrow if you want. As of 2026, it was the last Sam Fisher game, and they ended on a really high note, I think. It's really sad that we didn't get more of this, but also Ubisoft would have fucked this series into the dirt at this point. So I'm kind of glad we didn't. What we are left with is just a really, really good stealth game, and a super replayable one. I replay this game every couple of years and just pop it open to go through some of the optional missions. The lighthouse mission, the one that starts sort of down an angled street. I just remember a lot of these maps because I've played them so many times over because they are so replayable. Well designed with branching paths, lots of ways to use your whole suite of tools. It can get really tough. It could be a tough fucking game if you crank the difficulty up. So it's really good for, hardcore stealth fans and more casual players alike because it maintains Conviction's fucking awesome as fuck mark and execute system, which is a system that I'm really surprised more games haven't tried to utilize because it makes you feel fucking awesome. If the John Wick game doesn't use Splinter Cell's mark and execute system, I will be disappointed. The biggest knock against this game is just that they replaced Michael Ironside with a new voice actor for Sam Fisher, which was obviously a huge mistake. But at this point, since the series didn't continue for 5 games without him, I can just forgive it as a quirk of this particular game. Other than that, though, it's kind of the perfection of the Conviction formula in a lot of interesting ways, and yeah, still holds up to this day. Number 41 is another stealth espionage game, one of several so far. I guess you could consider Second Sight, Dishonored, and Blacklist all sort of in that genre to varying degrees. But of course, you can't even see it, but I'm just going to hold it out here so you can see it. It is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Yeah, all the way at number 41, which I feel like will be suspect for some people. So the reason it's higher up on my list is because, and kind of shameful admission here, in some capacity, but I have never completed a playthrough of Metal Gear Solid 3 by myself. My memories of this game are from, again, like Halo, that really early part of my life. I think this game came out in 2004, so I was 10. And most of my time with this game, hours and hours spent with this game, was watching my friend and his older brother play it. It was the first stealth game I ever saw in my whole life. I didn't know how the game worked at all, and whenever I was given the controller, I immediately fucked it up. Very bad. I was bad at stealth games until age 24, probably. I don't think my brain fully developed to the point where I could just stop in place and think about something without having to shoot a man in the head 17 times. I wasn't able to do that until I was a full-grown adult with a fully developed brain. I've just absorbed so much of Metal Gear Solid 3 in YouTube videos, in essays, in my first-hand experiences playing it, watching it getting played, and doing my own playthrough on the subsistence version. What can I possibly say about Metal Gear Solid 3 that would enlighten anybody as to its quality? It is one of the classics of the century, of the medium. Metal Gear Solid is the James Bond series of video games, and I mean that in its scope in its length, in its like, you know, it's got so many entries, in the iconic nature of its main character, in what it means to its medium. This is the video game spy series, and it's so much more insane than James Bond ever could be. Now that I've admitted to my falsities here, though, I'm kind of embarrassed to have it on my list. I'm gonna keep it there anyway, because it's my fucking list. Number 40 is Prodeus. Yes, that is above Metal Gear Solid 3. Do you know what Prodeus is? Probably not. It's really fucking good, though. That's what it is. Prodeus is a retro boomer shooter from, what, 2022, I think is when it officially released. It's just, goddamn, man. It is just so satisfying, so viscerally satisfying to shoot the fucking guns in Prodeus. And the level design, it's, you know, it's clearly classic Doom inspired. And the levels match up to classic Doom, improve upon the classic Doom formula. They're vertical, you have a, you know, a double jump, a dash, all kinds of weaponry, and it just ends up being a blast. There's really not a lot I can say in terms of this game being unique. Everything you can get from Prodeus, you can get from another game. But the particular combination of Prodeus's visual design, it's really, really, really cool. Like pixel art 3D combination, you know, it visually just looks stunning. That combined with its really crisp audio design and its really, really high quality, professional grade level design. I think these developers of Prodeus are from, you know, have a history in level design and the industry professionally. I should say like AAA design professionally. And their experience shows through in a boomer shooter that is just top notch in terms of its quality, even though it doesn't do a whole lot that you haven't seen before. Oh, it also has like a fucking mission editor, by the way, which means you have like hundreds, if not thousands at this point, fan missions that you can just access from the main menu. And some of them are really, really good. Like, you will have an infinite amount of content if you buy Prodeus. Number 39 is one of a few games for this list that I would call stupid. This is a fucking stupid game. Stranglehold is a stupid game, but boy is it fucking awesome. God damn. You are just aura farming for 12 hours of gameplay of the craziest, fucking most gonzo-ass action gameplay you will experience. It is a Max Payne knockoff, yes, obviously you will see that with the slow motion diving, but it also has a lot of its own mechanics that kind of set it apart, give it its own identity. You can take cover. There's like a lot of explodable environmental pieces. It's based on like Hong Kong heroic bloodshed movies, of course. It's a sequel to Chow Yun-Fat's Hard Boiled, John Woo's Hard Boiled, and that comes through in a really great like adaptation of that film and the heroic bloodshed genre in general, because the protagonist, oh god, oh I spilled my drink. Okay, I fixed it. What was I saying? Stranglehold is just a good adaptation of Hong Kong action movies. Your character never reloads, everything is insane. You can replicate some of his moves from Hard Boiled by sliding on carts, you know, sliding down railings, swinging from chandeliers. You know, the environment is really tactile, and you can interact with it in a lot of cool ways that make you feel like just the ultimate action movie badass. So while it is, you know, just basically a sort of like AA 7 out of 10, you know, hit from the 7th generation, it's stuck with me for a long time. Really sad we never got the sequel that they were working on. They were going to make a sequel. Very sad. Got canceled. Number 38. Another action game. I guess I'm just a fucking action game person. Turbo Overkill. This is a pretty fucking recent game. This is from 2023. Solo developed by the person who also just put out Total Chaos, another pretty solid fucking game. I hesitate to use the word boomer shooter because it does feel modern in a lot of ways and innovative, like Doom Eternal inspired. Part of the whole wave of movement shooters. I guess I'd just call it a movement shooter more than a boomer shooter. And the movement comes into play because your character has a fucking chainsaw inside of his leg, and you can chainsaw slide across the environments. Your sprint has been just completely replaced with a chainsaw slide, and you can just cut through enemies. You're bouncing all over the place. The game is completely motherfucking insane by the end of it. You have so many abilities, so many weapons, so many ways to kill, so many ways to move. It is just like, it really is overwhelming. It is fucking turbo like a motherfucker, and it's a monument to excess, really, like by the final missions. It really is just somebody throwing everything at the wall. I forgot systems that I had because there's so many different ways to murder things by the end. And in some ways that is excessive and, sort of kitchen sink design, but I think it all works really well because the game is, it's a single dev game that is filled with so much passion and excitement and just intense love that, it makes up for any design shortcomings or whatever. Some great, really memorable level design. Lots of, cool, low-poly enemies, and a story and cutscenes that are also pretty fucking sick and memorable. The main character is always doing something insane in the mission opening or mission ending scenes. Just a wonderful, straightforward action game, and at 37, we will move to something pretty different. The 2005 BioWare RPG Jade Empire. Yes, very, very weird for this list, but the list is only going to get weirder, so buckle up. Jade Empire is another game that I have a sort of sense memory connection to. I rented it or had it rented when I had a sick day off from school, probably in 5th grade, 4th grade, and I remember playing it, posted up on my couch, sick as a dog, playing through the intro, a couple hours of Jade Empire, and that's a precious memory. I've written a pretty lengthy video on this game, but I don't really know how to end the video. I've had the video written for probably 2 years now, mostly written, pretty much to completion. It wouldn't be a bad video, but I feel like I just need to find a final point to end it on, and I really do kind of have a final point to end it on, but it's just, it needs to get hammered out. Besides that, though, the game itself is so great. Gorgeous art design. The pinks that this game is shrouded in. Oh my god, it's just so... It's also soft and welcoming. I love BioWare's, interpretation of Chinese culture and history and mythology. I don't know how much of it is actually accurate to all that kind of stuff, but whatever they've done is interesting. It's a video gamey RPG where things are sort of black and white in a mythological sort of sense. The black and white decision making of an early 2000s RPG slots in really well with a game that is based on mythology from days gone by, where stories were broader and more about, kind of simpler, essential concepts, with heroes that were heroes and villains that were villains, and it's that kind of world to escape to. A classic fantasy setting. I really like the combat of the game, which is sort of a halfway point between turn-based and real-time. It's a sort of interesting try at that. The new Final Fantasy VII trilogy seems to have really mastered that concept and turned it into something fully fleshed out. But Jade Empire tried it back in 2005 and didn't do amazing with it, but to me, it came out really well. I think the combat is really fun, even if it is, I'm going to use the dreaded word, clunky. It's a really good RPG, that's all, and it occupies a very soft place in my heart. Also a very funny game. There's a character who just, his whole thing, his one note is that he just hates his bitch cunt of a wife. That's all he talks about. My fucking bitch. I fucking hate that bitch. Okay, which is maybe not a great example of the game having really good comedic chops, but maybe unintentionally funny is another way to put it. Very early 2000s. Let's move on to number 36, which is a game that I've already made a full video about, and that is Session, Skate Sim. I don't need to talk a whole lot about Session because, like I just said, there's probably 25 minutes of me yapping about this fucking thing out there already. I'll link it up in whatever corner the thing goes up in. In summation, though, it is essentially just the best skate sim available, ever made. It captures the feeling of approaching a spot, scoping it out, figuring out how to skate it, and then finally nailing it. The original EA Skate games kind of were the progenitors of what Session does, but Session really, really nails it and gets to the heart of the struggle of skateboarding, the struggle of landing a trick that you really want to look good. I have put, probably hundreds of hours into this game over the last couple of years, and it's just a fidget spinner of a game for me. I just pop it on when I want something in the background to play and do with my hands when I've had a really fucking long day and can't bother thinking about anything. It works really well for that, but it also works for, really focusing and wanting to get really into it, get some really great footage, do something super cool. It's a very freeform game. 35. Stubbs The Zombie, another game, yet another fucking game. I've done a lot of my favorite games on the channel, guys. Stubbs The Zombie is a great goddamn game. Well, okay, it's not a great game, but it is a game that I love. Again, you can go watch in the corner or whatever the link to my Stubbs video, but it's just a well-designed game that picks one thing to do and does that one thing really well, and it is playing as a zombie. The gameplay loop is essentially devouring small groups of enemies and then moving forward to another encounter, and your previous forces dying out, killing people as you continue to gather more new zombies up from the people that you've killed, using your body parts as special abilities, taking your head off and bowling it at people, throwing explosive livers out at enemies. It's just a bananas ass little action game, action comedy that scratches a weird itch that I didn't know I had of wanting to play as a zombie. Especially being like a young kid and seeing this game come out in 2005. It made an impression on me during an impressionable time. It's just fun, and it's kind of a guilty pleasure because it's really not a great game. The story is bare bones, although funny. The gameplay is well thought out and well executed, but not super dynamic. Graphically, it's good, but not great. Whatever, it's kind of mid-core, but it is delicious mid. Not every fucking game needs to be the goddamn Last of Us. Number 34, which is, yet again, another game with a full video out on Purposeless Rabbit Holes. It is Matrix Path of Neo. Pawn, as Path of Neo itself abbreviates it to be. It's janky, it's weird, but as I said in the video itself, when Pawn is on, it's fucking on. The action is unlike any action I've really played in any other game. It's very motion capture heavy. It's got its own sort of sluggish pace, but once you slot into it, once you figure out how it works and how it's paced and the best moves to use and how to space yourself with enemies and all that kind of stuff, once you really commit to learning and taking it on its own merits, the combat is fantastic. It's really, really good third-person beat-em-up stuff with a really unique feel. It's funny as shit, too. I threw a man into a fucking explosion and he fucking blew the fuck up and turned into a crazy... I don't know, man. The game knows it's insane and embraces it fully in completely over-the-top gameplay that matches the equally over-the-top and strange story that takes the whole Matrix trilogy and, in my opinion, elevates it into something that is, I don't know, man, crazier than it has any right or need to be. It takes itself less seriously than Reloaded and Revolutions. 33, one of the best Marvel games ever made. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Yet again, replay this shit every couple of years because it fills my heart with warmth. God, the roster of characters in this game, especially if you play it with the DLC, which I fucking spent $100 getting a gold edition of Marvel Ultimate Alliance for Xbox 360 so I could play as Venom and play as the Hulk, these extra characters that got left behind and used as DLC that is now inaccessible in any way other than buying the gold edition with all the content on the disc. Essentially, I know you can mod it on PC, and there's various ways to experience Ultimate Alliance in its full or even better form, but I always do it on the original hardware. I'm kind of a fetishist for stuff like that. I like to play games on the original console with the original controller. It's just something that I enjoy. It's such a sick-ass fucking game. So many different locales to explore. It's really just a celebration of Marvel. Before the MCU became a big thing, so it's still comic book goofy. It's still ridiculous and comic book stupid. I love that shit about it. A solid action gameplay that I'm not sure if I'm not sure if it would hold up to somebody that hasn't played it before and is jumping into it nowadays. You gotta kind of give it some grace because it's a weird isometric perspective action game. I'm not super into those kind of games, isometric action or top-down shooters, that kind of stuff where the camera's pulled far away, but you're dealing with a team of 4 playable Avengers that you can swap between everywhere, so it really works out for a fun combat system and one that easily carries the game, all the way through its runtime. And it's really the final form of what Raven Software had been doing with the X-Men Legends games for years beforehand, so that's really cool to see. Great Marvel game, story that takes you all across the Marvel universe. You get to play as all these wonderful characters, and it's got this cheese to it. It's got this endearing, jankiness to it. I don't know. It's like a home cooked meal, or it's like a meal that you go back to your hometown and have for the first time in a couple of years, and it's just like you fucking remember it, man. Nostalgia aside, I mean, there is so much content. It's such a content fucking rich game. I find it to be immensely replayable. It's pretty long. I think it's like 20 hours or some shit if you take your time. Yeah, it's a great superhero game. One of the best. That opening cutscene too, oh my god. Number 32, we gotta get in a Mario game. And my Mario game is Mario Sunshine. Everybody has their Mario game. My buddy Jacob, who you can find buried in this channel somewhere in some fucking old playlist. No, wait, my other channel. Whatever. My buddy Jacob's favorites, last time I checked, it's either Odyssey or Galaxy. No, he loves those two. So everybody has their favorite Mario game, their favorite 3D Mario game, I should say. That's sort of the part of the main line. Big releases. And I just love Mario Sunshine. That was the one that grabbed me the most. My first was Mario 64, but I was like a literal baby when I played that. This is the one when my brain had I had brain cells in my head. I was able to see things. I had object permanence. Boy, am I glad that I do, too, because it is so good. I know people kind of get down on it because of the, I think it's the flood device that Mario has on his back throughout the game that gives him his special game-specific ability suite. People kind of get down on it because it's sort of limited, and the, floating move, which is your main iconic one, slows you down. It slows platforming down, makes it a bit more methodical. But I really like the pace of Mario Sunshine. Mario Odyssey really kicks up the pace and turns it into more, that's what platformers are doing now. Ever since Mario Odyssey, really, I think that was like the one that sort of kicked off this wave of more technical platformers, where there's a lot of movement tech that you can really exploit, these different types of jumps, these different ways to begin your jump and end it, and things to do in between those two states. I know the new Donkey Kong game has some stuff like that too, and a lot of modern platformers are trying stuff out like that, and I think some of that comes from Mario Odyssey as a start point, but Sunshine is not like that. Sunshine does not have really many imitators, but it's its own thing then. It's its own bespoke thing that nobody really ever duplicated, and I love, outside of the gameplay, which I really do love, I love the flood device, I love the platforming and the pace of it, the sort of more intermediate pace. I also love the environments. I love Delfino Isle. I think it's probably my favorite Mario environment, as a whole. I think it's so just warm and welcoming and bright and cheery, and just, it's Mario's beach episode, it's his getaway. Even though shit goes wrong very quickly and he is jailed on wrongful charges. The kind of shit you don't want to happen on your vacation. But yeah, just great levels throughout. Great challenges to participate in inside of those levels. I think it's a great platformer, an all-time platformer. Moving on to 31, I believe. Another kind of odd choice that I think might raise some eyebrows is Jak 3. Anyone who grew up as a boy in the early 2000s played Jak and thought Jak was the coolest motherfucker ever because he said, "Where the hell am I?" And I was like, oh my gosh. A lot of people think Jak 2 is the, apex of the series, which I completely understand, and I feel like from an objective standpoint might be true. But I prefer Jak 3 because of, the multitude of weapons. You have, 3 times more weapons than Jak 2 or something like that. The split of the environments with the desert and the city of Jak 2. I think it's a good finale to the series for the most part. I remember the ending being kind of weird, but I also haven't played the game to completion in 25 years or whatever. Just a lot of cool environments. It is the refinement of the whole Jak series platforming and combat loop. The addition of the angel form to match the devil form is super cool. All the driving systems, that's fucking awesome as fuck. It's a big ass game. It's a big ass game full of shit, full of really fun characters. It is just a teen boy's dream. Again, very subjective in my love for this one. I think a lot of people would put Jak 2 above it, but fuck them, it's my list. Moving into the 20s, we have an all-time fucking game. Thief to the Metal Age. Thief is a series that I only got into in late 2023. with the release of the Black Parade, which is a mod for Thief 1, Thief Gold, that introduces an entire new 10-mission campaign. It's basically a whole new video game that functions, as a mod. It is a mod, but it's a whole new Thief game. And so I started the Thief series by playing the Black Parade because I was drawn into it by some articles. I mean, Black Parade came out in 2023. People are still making fan missions and fan content for Thief, even though Thief 2 launched in 2000, I think, 1999, 2000. People are still making Thief content, and it's still like some of the best stealth game and immersive sim content you can find anywhere. So that's how I started with the Black Parade, but then I played Thief Gold and then moved on to Thief 2. So I'm a fresh Thief fan. That said, I have hundreds of hours in Thief now, and it's, become one of my favorite franchises of my life. You can't see them. I'll put pictures on the screen right now. Hanging 5 feet from me right now is Thief art. And Thief 2 is on here as opposed to Thief 1 because I think, it's kind of a toss-up on any given day whether or not this spot would be taken by Metal Age or Gold. But today I'm just going with Metal Age because it is a refinement of pretty much everything that I love about Thief Gold. The only thing that I don't so much love about Metal Age is that, and we're getting into deep Thief talk here. You're not going to fucking understand this if you haven't played these games. But Thief 1 is a much more magical, supernatural game. That's a big part of it. That's a big part of the world in Thief Gold. And Thief 2 sort of goes in a different direction and makes the main focus sort of industrialization and steampunk kind of stuff. Magic takes a back seat in the world of Thief in this game. And I'm not a huge fan of that because I love the supernatural stuff. I love the zombies and the mummies and the hammer haunts, all that kind of stuff. But otherwise, Thief 2 is just one of the best games ever made. Just straight up. And that is not to say Thief 2 has some awful fucking levels. Awful. Truly awful. Like levels that would make somebody just drop the game and never play it again. But the levels that are good are some of the best levels ever made. Ever. In any fucking game. First City Bank and Trust. Shipping and receiving. Fucking precious cargo. There are so many missions in this game that are like, I will never forget and I will always go back to. What can I say? How can I sum up what makes it so good? What makes it so replayable? I mean, Thief is a systems-driven series that focuses on player agency. You can solve so many problems in so many different ways. The level design is so branching and so generous in how many ways you're given to approach things. It really makes you feel like a thief, like you're breaking and entering to these places on your own terms, with your own plans, taking notes on your maps, using all kinds of stuff that you pick up along the way to get the job done. I don't know. There's just so much magic to Thief. I can't begin to sum it all up in this, one little discussion. If you haven't given Thief a shot, give it a shot, because it might grab you and it might change your fucking life like it did for me. Number 28 on my favorite 50 games ever made is another Metal Gear Solid game. Metal Gear Solid 5. I'm sorry, Metal Gear Solid V. When they said that shit about Phantom Pain and Death Stranding 2, I clapped. MGSV might be it might just be the best stealth game ever made. The amount of options you have, the amount of agency you're given, the amount of ways that the AI can interact with the tools and the companions that you have at your disposal, it's just insane. It is fucking insane. Made by a team of maniacs. I squeezed like hundreds of hours of juice out of this game that really is just like 2 really empty ass maps with enemy bases in them. That's really all the game is. It's a big open fucking empty landscape dotted with enemy bases. But that gives you the opportunity to approach those enemy bases from any angle, from any elevation, with any plan. You can, airdrop in so many different supplies. It's just like, it's crazy how much freedom they give you to accomplish missions in the ways that you see fit, whether it be with action or stealth or with a combination of the two. It's brilliant, riveting game design. Fun is learning applied, and MGSV is the perfect example of that. It teaches you so many things. It teaches you how these systems interact, and then it just lets you go. Alongside that, it is also, a Metal Gear Solid game, so the story is unfinished. Yes, of course, unfinished. We can't forget unfinished. But even then, it's like got a lot of interesting ideas, and some of it really works, and some of it really does not work. But the stuff that does not work, I think, it's still Hideo Kojima, so it still has brilliance in it. You know, the man is a genius. The man is an original. And so even the stuff that doesn't land for me personally, I still find enjoyment in. Like the scene when Skullface is talking to you for 10 minutes in the car and Venom doesn't say anything to him. Venom says no words. Venom is the worst protagonist in any game ever. Oh god, the twist that happens with Venom is so, I think so clunkily executed. Again, it's art and it's worth thinking about. Why did that twist happen there? How does that inform the rest of the narrative? The narrative is metatextual in an interesting way. So, you know, all to say that it's a Kojima game. And there are heady concepts that are executed and explored in ways that no other game would explore. And Mother Base is fucking awesome. And there's a fucking cute-ass little baby puppy. Troy Baker. I think their first collaboration between Kojima and Baker. He's a good Revolver Ocelot, even though he doesn't, to me, sound at all like Revolver Ocelot. It's weird. I'll just say one last thing. If you're spotted by an enemy, you can flee into a porta potty and then activate your handheld radio to play the sounds of a man shitting himself violently, and then you can like turn your radio on so it's basically on like speakerphone, so enemies can hear your radio too. And so an enemy, the guy who spotted you and is following you, he'll follow you to the porta potty, but then he will just hear the sounds of a man shitting and screaming and dying inside, and so he will let you go. He will not discover you. And that's a way you can avoid detection in Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. 27 is a game that is objectively probably inferior in every single way to Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, and it is Darksiders 2. More AA Xbox 360 slop, baby. I have played Darksiders 3 probably like 5 times, and it is still special. I mean, it's actually not really special, it's just a Zelda game, but if Zelda involved more cutting people in half, which, you know, that's a good way to sell something, Zelda, but you decapitate more. And that's basically what Darksiders is and always has been, or at least always should be. I think Darksiders 3 took a turn for the worse in terms of being a Souls-like, and Darksiders Genesis is like an isometric kind of action, Diablo-like sort of Marvel Ultimate Alliance adjacent kind of thing. So the Darksiders series has taken various forms, but Darksiders 1 and 2, those are the ones that fuck, because those are the ones that are very simply God of War plus Zelda. It is peanut butter and chocolate for fucking action adventure games. It's got great combat. It is like a power fantasy where you play as one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. The combat is just really rock solid. It pairs great with the exploration across these really large sort of open zones, all of which I love. I mean, particularly, I think anybody who's played Darksiders 2 can tell you that the first 2/3 of the game are way better than the last third. The last third kind of falls apart, but you get through the last third in like 4 hours, so don't worry about it. Everything before that is amazing. The first 2 opening areas, which make up like 60% of the game, are some of my favorite hub explorable adventure zones in any game ever. The giant, you know, forest area and the hellish hell area, or whatever you'd call it. Such fond memories playing through those sections, and I go back again and just play them all over again, all the time. So much content spread across those areas, so many puzzles to solve, new systems to discover, all kinds of loot. Normally I hate loot systems, and this was Darksiders 2 is an early adopter of what became a plague of unnecessary loot systems across the 2010s, you know, where every game, and it's still happening, you know, to some extent right now, but games taking on RPG-like mechanics where every game has to have purple, blue, yellow, green coded fucking loot that you find and slap all over your character and shit. And this game has that. It has loot slots for your chests and your legs and your gauntlets and shit, but it all looks so fucking awesome, and it really is as simple as I pick up new loot, I put it on. So, you know, it's a win. Oh my god, and Michael Wincott as Death, as the main character, like, oh my god, what a great sardonic performance. He's constantly funny just by virtue of the fact that he is so straight-faced and so lethal in the face of like anybody in front of him. I really love Death as a protagonist. He's not like, you know, Joel from The Last of Us, but he is a really entertaining and memorable and aesthetically pleasing video game badass. Yeah, I like my popcorn games. I don't know. You're not gonna find Outer Wilds on this list. Just because I haven't played it, by the way. It's not that I don't like it. Number 26 is a modern horror classic, and it is Amnesia: The Dark Descent. So many games would not exist without Amnesia. Like, holy fuck. You have like Outlast, I would say Alien Isolation, Layers of Fear, all the other Amnesia games, Still Wakes the Deep. There are so many horror games that I think just would not exist without The Dark Descent. I think it is one of the most influential horror games ever made, one of the best horror games ever made, just plain and simple, critically, culturally. I think everybody sort of agrees that Amnesia: The Dark Descent is an all-time classic. I would put it up there with games like Silent Hill 2 and the original Resident Evil. I think it is that good, and it just has a huge influence. The way it took, weapons away from the player. It made you defenseless. That had a huge, huge impact on horror games for at least 10 years. And a lot of games, like Alien Isolation, you do get weapons, but I think the design decision that Amnesia made to really make you defenseless just showed developers how effective that could be. That vulnerability, how effective it was at making a game horrifying. It made big ripples through the horror scene. And this game also had a huge impact culturally because it was like one of the big early Let's Play games on YouTube. YouTube would be different without Amnesia, I think. Eventually, of course, Let's Plays would happen and they'd come along and they would be what they are today still, of course, but Amnesia was one of those early ones that like PewDiePie and I think Markiplier, all kinds of people just played, and that's what like the word of mouth and the YouTube videos just made this game huge. I just remember everybody in my high school in 2010 knew about this game and was playing it, the people that could, that had PCs and shit. It's a modern classic. The story is fun. It's not Silent Hill 2. It's not like, I don't think it's filled with like really deep themes or anything, but it's a really great eldritch adjacent sort of horror story. I like the characters of Alexandra Brennenberg and Agrippa. It's got a good cast, a very small cast of memorable characters, and I think the dark descent you go on, the titular dark descent is just, I don't know, man. It's gripping. It's gripping stuff. Classic gothic horror. And I mean also the grunts, the enemies that you face, the monsters that you face. Talk about like legendary creatures for the medium and for the genre. Number 25, we are at the halfway point, and it is a game that I am also in the middle of a replay of. It is Prey 2017, which is a game that I made a video shitting on when it came out on Purposeless Rabbit Holes. You can't find that video anymore because I realized it was bad. I originally hid that video, like unlisted it, because I was applying for Arcane. Like I was applying for a job at Arcane and I didn't want them to see that. I didn't want them wandering to my channel and finding my video that was called Faint Praise. And I was just butthurt because my game, hard crashed at 15 hours and I lost the entire playthrough for a month and a half before I got it back, actually. They did fix the bug that was like, completely breaking my playthrough, which, thank God, good on them. But it did also take a month and a half, which was pretty devastating to my perception of this game for years. I think I must have experienced a similar bug to that which the IGN reviewer hit, the one who gave the game a fucking 4 out of 10. And I understand the frustration because I experienced that on launch as well, and it colored my perception of the game for many years. But it is so sad that this game was hit by critics, and I think that did something to its sales, So sad that we never got a sequel to this game, because a Prey 2, God, I can't even imagine, because this first game is such a masterpiece right out the motherfucking gate. Right out the fucking gate. It is such a well-balanced, well-oiled machine of an immersive sim stealth action adventure Metroidvania experience. Fuck. The powers you have, the abilities you have, how those abilities play into the environment itself of Talos, which is like one of the great video game locales. The way that environment is put together in that it is not just levels that you linearly travel between. Instead, it is a huge map It's a contiguous environment with loading screens, but it is one that is all linked together, explorable. And then you have like the Typhon as the enemies, which actually I'm still a little iffy on the whole enemy faction you face throughout the entire game, I think. Iffy. And the narrative itself, I don't think is like really a home run. I think kind of falls apart near the end. There's something that happens as a twist at the very end that I think a lot of people really kind of despise. But if I'm looking at this game purely from the point of view of the things that really matter to me, which is great gameplay, great systems, it's just like a masterwork. Oh my god, and there's even like the space travel system, the zero gravity system. God, it's just, it is a rich steak of a fucking video game. Moving on from the glazing though, we are going to 24, which is another superhero game, maybe the best superhero game ever made. It's gotta be Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum is the best of the Arkham trilogy, and I will fucking die on that hill. It's just like the most streamlined, top of the fucking line Metroidvania design that you can find anywhere. Probably the best 3D Metroidvania ever made. It's gotta be, right? What are the other contenders? I don't know. The Asylum is so tightly designed, your progression through that environment is so tightly constructed, and it's so interesting. I've been doing a playthrough of Arkham Knight as well for the first time since 2015 when I first played the game. Looking at it with much kinder eyes nowadays, by the way. But it's so interesting seeing Arkham Asylum versus Arkham Knight, where they're so different. And they came out within just a few years of each other, really. 2009 and 2015, I think. Like, the fact that the whole Arkham series came out over the course of 6 or 7 years is mind-boggling now, with how long games take nowadays. How bloated the industry has become. The fact that this team got out so many of these Arkham games and evolved them so much over the course of the trilogy, it's just incredible. That's a generational run right there. Arkham Asylum is the originator, however. It's where everything started, and it is one of the most influential action-adventure games ever made. Like, everybody was doing this game's combat system for 5 or 6 years afterwards. For good reason, too. It's amazing. Unlike Knight, it is, like, super tight. Every enemy means something. You know, you're just walking down a hallway to your next objective, and there's 2 enemies in front of you that you have to get past, and you just take them out with a brief little, like, taste of combat. It's such a considered game where every step you take through the Asylum is just like a designed thing, you know, where Arkham Knight is so open, is the complete opposite philosophy where it's like tackle things in multiple ways, you know, adventure around the city at your own pace, take the game at your own speed, where Arkham Asylum is a very tightly designed experience from start to finish. And it's great. It's packed with amazing gameplay. The stealth gameplay is simple but satisfying. The way that it condenses the feel of that character is truly a work of brilliance. Everything about the character is so perfectly translated into the palms of your hands. And I mean, fucking Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are at the top of their fucking game. The Joker in this game, one of my favorite renditions of the Joker, and it's one of my favorite Batman stories. It's not like a great Batman story. It's kind of, you know, it's a mid-tier Batman story, but I love it when the Asylum gets locked down. You know, Serious House on Serious Earth is one of my favorite Batman stories. And I just love Arkham Asylum stories, and this is such a fun way to keep Batman's scope limited in terms of where he can go and what he can do. Moving on to what might be another 10 out of 10 for other people. Not every game, by the way, after this point will be a 10 out of 10. There will still be some 7 out of 10s from here on out, because I'm a 7 out of 10 man at my core. But this one is a fucking classic, and it is Banjo-Tooie. Banjo-Tooie is a game that, like, taught me to read. When I played this game as a kid, my mother would help me read through the guidebook so we could find jiggies together. And it's just, you know, one of those foundational memories, one of those things that showed me that video games are art, that they bring people together, that they can affect your life, that they can influence your entire existence, that they can affect you so personally and so deeply. And so I just have so many sweet, fond memories of me as such a young child playing this game with my mother. Other than that, though, it is just one of the best platformers of the N64, which had a lot of fucking platformers, so, you know, high bar. I love the tone of the game as well. It's just such a... These like, late 90s, early 2000s platformers had, like, such a sarcastic, almost like cynical lilt to them, and Banjo has that. It's the team that did Conquer, you know. So you know what I'm talking about. It's just got this juice. It's got this sauce. Next up at, what are we at? We're at 22. We're getting down there. 22 is a very new game that I adore with all my fucking heart, called Pizza Tower. Yes, I would put Pizza Tower as my 22nd favorite game ever. It's just such an idiosyncratic work. Nobody else but the creators of Pizza Tower could have made this game. Even though it is heavily influenced by Wario, you can, like, it wears its influences on its sleeve, you know, 90s cartoons, early Flash animation, and gameplay-wise, Wario. Very much Wario. Wario 100%. This is a Wario game. Despite the influences being obvious, it does so much to carve out its own identity. That's what makes this game so strong to me, is its sense of identity. It is so Pizza Tower. It's so funny and clever, and there are visual gags every second of gameplay. The animation is some of the most gorgeous, gritty, grimy, goofy animation that I've seen in any game in my entire life. It's like, I remember all of Peppino Spaghetti's fucking animations. His name is Peppino Spaghetti, bro. Everything about the game is just fucking funny as fuck. The fact that there's a level that's a Peppino having a flashback to the war. It's just genius. It is what it is. It's insane. It is immensely replayable. It's one of those kind of games where, like, it's sort of a speed-based platformer, so your first playthrough might feel kind of janky. It might feel like you don't really know where the jumps are supposed to happen, and you're hitting walls, and you're like, it's like when you play Sonic for the first time. You're like, this feels like shit. Why does this feel like shit? Oh, it's because I don't really understand how the real systems work, and I might need to replay these levels a couple times to really get into the groove of it. And Pizza Tower follows that same formula. It's not the most accessible platformer, but it's not inaccessible. It's not hard to play, but it does have a very high skill ceiling, which is great, and makes revisiting all the wonderfully themed and drawn, hilarious levels all the more worth revisiting. The bosses are great. Like, holy shit, they're such funny characters. The soundtrack, oh my god, the soundtrack of Pizza Tower is just banger after fucking banger. It's nothing but heat. I'm getting chills thinking about the song of the final level and the final level itself, the actual escape of Pizza Tower. It's one of the best platformer levels ever made. It is just adrenaline from start to finish and the perfect conclusion to the game. Very excited for Woon. Okay, wait, hold up. I forgot a game. I gotta insert something further back. We're switching things up. We're moving all these forward because the actual number 30 I missed when I was looking at my list. So we're bumping all those forward by one, and we are inserting the original Skate. As the intended number 30 on this list. I wrote down this fucking list preemptively, but I just, skimmed over it while I was skimming. Let's talk about Skate real quick. Skate is massively influential. Skate is Skate. Skate's gonna skate. Skater's gonna skate, and they're gonna skate and skate. It's a fucking huge classic. I mean, it reinvented the genre of skate games, really, in a way that hadn't been done since the original Tony Hawk. It completely redefined how skating could be handled on a controller with the flick it system. Revolutionary for the genre. Foundational for where the genre is today. And it's such an interesting switch up, from Tony Hawk's more fighting game adjacent controls, quarter circle inputs and all that kind of shit. Instead, they use the right stick in Skate. In the original Skate game, I just remember, again, memory time. I recall sitting up very late at night waiting for demos to drop on the Xbox 360 marketplace. Back when demos were a big thing, me and my buddy Alex would wait. When we were really young, we would just wait at his place until like 2 or 3 in the morning, I think, when Xbox online demos would drop. And God, I remember just waiting for that Skate demo and playing it for the first time in that first park with my bro at 3 in the morning. It was just like rapturous. We'd both been waiting for this game for so long. We'd been reading up all about it in magazines and all that kind of shit. So excited for it, and we were not disappointed. Not at all. In fact, our fucking minds were blown, as were the minds of countless, millions around the world throughout the existence of this franchise. So fucking sad to see what EA has done with Skate. Like, we should have seen it coming. I should have seen it coming. I kind of did see it coming, but I was hoping for the best, and I didn't prepare for the worst, as I should have, because we kind of got the worst. The worst, I guess, would be not having a new Skate game at all, but I would have been fine. I have Session. Session, I think, is the replacement Skate, basically. But nothing can replace that original Skate. Super important to sports games history as a whole. Moving back forward to yet another game that I'm in the middle of a playthrough of. I bounce between a lot of games. Plus, I'm also on like a very long vacation from work, so I've had plenty of time to just veg the fuck out and restart a couple of my favorites. And one of those favorites is XCOM 2, baby. XCOM 2! XCOM 2 is, and this is like invalidated by the fact that I don't play any strategy games at all, but it's probably the best strategy game ever made. I'm confident saying that, even though I don't play any strategy games. Oh my god, War of the Chosen is I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a tactics game mixed with a sort of management sim where you spend, I don't know, 75% of your time in these really deep, complex strategic combat situations where you control each of your characters one by one to make decisions in a turn-based strategy game. And the other time you spend in your ship, managing your crew, managing your resources, continuing your fight against the aliens on a more broad front. And it just works to create maybe the perfect video game. And like War of the Chosen is even crazier, because War of the Chosen is an expansion of XCOM 2. But by an expansion, I really mean it's like XCOM 2.5, because it has fundamentally redesigned the entirety of XCOM 2. The whole structure of the game is expanded and different in War of the Chosen. It's really like a new game. I would not recommend starting with War of the Chosen because it's very complicated. I would say beat original XCOM 2 and then do War of the Chosen as a second playthrough, which will be like a new game, but just even better. And you'll be going back to XCOM 2 with all the knowledge of your first playthrough to be able to handle War of the Chosen. Both of the games, original XCOM 2 and War of the Chosen, are so dense with systems and resources to manage. I just get so attached to my soldiers, because your soldiers can die and there's permadeath. You know, you'll have a small roster of like 5 soldiers on your crew at the start, but by the end of the game, you'll have 25, 30, constantly in rotation, constantly getting wounded or killed. You can memorialize them in your little bar area and write them epitaphs before, getting back to fighting the alien threat. Also, can I just say, there's a character, your scientist, named Dr. Tygan, and the way that he says alien is the best thing ever.
In our engagements with the aliens, human and alien genetic material, the aliens' alien standards.
The aliens. I can't get enough of it. Every time he says that shit, I fucking laugh my ass off, and it's just another thing about this game that makes it so endearing, It's a super endearing game. The cutscenes are cheesy, the narrative is just pure pulp. It's like pure pulp fluff, but it is so fun. There's some mysteries in there. The characters are, sci-fi novel archetypes, like these are not characters you haven't seen before, but it's such a great time. It doesn't take itself too seriously. One of the mini games on this list that I would say has it all. We're down to the last 20 now, and I've been yapping for a long fucking time, so I'm going to try to kind of speed this up with these last 20, but I'll give them the love they need. Number 20 on my list of top 50 favorite games ever would be one Mr. Mark of the Ninja. There's no reason for me to have chosen Remastered there. Actually, in fact, that's going to annoy me. I'm going to put the original game there, even though Remastered's fine. It's just like the same game, I think, with the little DLC that the game got integrated into the one you buy. I don't know what the fucking difference is. Yet another title I made a video on years back. It's an alright video. I still stick by the title of that video. I think that Mark of the Ninja is 2D stealth perfected. I'm not sure you can make a better 2D stealth game than Mark of the Ninja. It just kind of does everything that I would expect. It just squeezes all the blood from that particular stone in a way that makes it just like a really impressive game. It's impressively designed, I would say. It's just really smart. Really satisfying stealth that's extremely well designed. a suite of amazing, really fun to use traps and ninja-like abilities that really put you in that role. A compelling story as well. It's not like an amazing story, but it's got an interesting ending and some cool stuff happens along the way. There's some DLC missions that are pretty good as well, pretty interesting. I think the whole arc of the game throughout all of its levels is just really fucking solid. There's really no lulls in the entirety of Mark of the Ninja. It maintains a consistent like 9 out of 10 quality throughout the entire runtime. And it's a short game, but to maintain that quality for like, I don't know, 6-7 hours, maybe longer. It's been a minute since I've done a straight playthrough of this one, but it's just, admirable to watch. Number 19, another side scroller, but this one action as opposed to stealth. It is Dead Cells. My number 1 favorite game of 2018 and or 2019. God, I probably have like 200 hours into this game. And at least 15 of those hours, I was really mad. This is one of those games, I don't do it anymore. I feel like okay, it still happens sometimes. It happens to everybody, right? Everybody gets a little tilted sometimes, okay? And Dead Cells got me really fucking tilted in its prime. It's the kind of game that, like, you'd be having a run and it would go so bad that it would just ruin my night. Like, my night's just over. I'm just mad now. I try not to do that shit anymore because that's just a childish way. I mean, it's just like, it's a video game. But this is a goddamn difficult video game. A difficult one, a frustrating one, a sort of a mean one. I don't know. It's just a hard fucking game. It is unrelenting the further you go on into it as you beat it all the way through and then are able to do the next difficulty and continue forward all the way through to like the 5th difficulty setting, which is I've never been able to beat on default settings. There's an assist mode for Dead Cells where you can make the game easier, and I've had to assist mode my way through 5 BC, which is the top difficulty. I'm not ashamed to admit it, even though I am a little ashamed to admit it. This is a fucking great game. It's a roguelike Metroidvania action adventure with sick ass combat, so many interesting weapons where you can, do so many exploitative builds if you're clever with how you spend your money and how you explore all the environments. The levels are great and varied. I love the way that they design their biomes. The game is split into biomes that you adventure through. You choose which biome you go to next, all that kind of stuff. You unlock more biomes as you beat the game more times and all that kind of shit. The biomes are designed in a way where, like, some of them are, like, purely vertical, where you're moving up and down. Some of them have, like, bridges in between vertical struts and then more horizontal ones. The ramparts is divvied up between like large platforms, towers that you can go down into and come back out of. The Promenade of the Condemned, which is another level, is like a flat, more traditional one with some caves underneath. All the biomes feel varied in their terrain, despite the fact that you're playing like a 2D side-scroller without the range of 3D movement, where you could really vary up the way the player traverses an environment. The design of the levels is clever enough to make all the biomes feel unique, not just in their visuals, but in the verticality and horizontal nature of their designs and how they're shaped, how each biome is shaped when you explore it. And they're all randomly generated every time you go into it, so they all have their sort of broad motifs that they hit design-wise, and it makes them all feel different, all feel varied. There's just so much content in the game, and the core of the game is incredible. The combat, the exploration, it all feels so good and has so many varied weapons and abilities and tools, yada, yada, yada. So much content, and it's all quality. There is no quality over quantity. It is quality and it is quantity. And it's fucking funny. It's a fucking funny game. The main character is a super endearing. It's like if you played a Dark Souls game, but the main character just did not give a fuck. The main character is just constantly flipping people off and disregarding people's thoughts and opinions. And he's like a silent protagonist, so he's very like, I don't know, silent movie-esque. He does all of his, he's all gestures. And it gives him a whole lot of personality and makes him very, very endearing. So I love The Beheaded, or The Prisoner, or whatever you want to fucking call him. Banger game, very sad that they stopped supporting it. That was a whole weird situation. Look into that, it was weird. Number 18 is our first and only Spider-Man game of the list. It is Spider-Man Web of Motherfucking Shadows. This game is jank. Let's not pretend. It can be stupid. Let's not pretend. But by God, it is my favorite fucking Spider-Man game. For a multitude of reasons. It is still king of the castle in a lot of ways to me, although with the release of, Spider-Man 2018 and Spider-Man 2. Some more competition than there used to be. Even then, though, I think it is still top of the line in terms of Spider-Man games. I think it reaches the S tier of Spider-Man games if you were to tier list them, which you can see on my Patreon, by the way. I love the fucking swinging in this game. It's one of those, you know, easy to learn, hard to master things with a very high skill ceiling. There's all kinds of weird tech you can do. There's all sorts of, you know, bespoke inputs that are used for one animation that has no real use other than being another cool animation. Even if a lot of it is sort of fluff in terms of the technicality of the swinging, there is a high skill ceiling for those who want to make it look as fucking badass as possible. And part of that skill ceiling is, yes, making the game not look like shit, because it is kind of old and it is kind of cheap. But once you get into it, and once you get your hands on it and get familiar with all the weird shit you can do, you can have a lot of fun with the swinging in this game. It has been trounced now by Spider-Man 2 from 2023 or 4 or whenever the fuck that game came out. But before then, I would say that 2018 Spider-Man is like equal to Web of Shadows in the amount of fun that I had with it. They're different experiences for sure. 2018 is much more grounded and physical, where Web of Shadows is more traditionally comic booky. But yeah, it's really good. They really nailed the swinging in this one. And I think the combat here is also maybe the best it's ever been outside of the Insomniac games. Definitely, I think, better than anything outside of the Insomniac games. It's got a lot of fucking cool ideas. I think this is the game that originated the web strike mechanic, or whatever the fuck you'd call it, where you press a button and you fly towards an enemy that you've webbed, and then you can do various moves as you like approach them. Like, I think this game pioneered that shit. This game is just filled with so much love for Spider-Man. There's so many Spider-Man character, ally references, so many loving references to Marvel and the Marvel universe as a whole. Before the MCU really kicked off, again, just sort of like Ultimate Alliance, this is like way more like just classic comic book bullshit. And the narrative is just fun. It's just good versus evil. Is Spider-Man gonna go bad with the symbiote suit or not? You can swap, real time between the normal suit and the symbiote suit, which is a great system to base the game around. And using both in all modes of combat feels super cool, because you can fight on the ground and on walls and in the air as either of the suits at any time. So it's a very dynamic and sort of creative combat system. And all of that just leads to Web Shadows, being a top-of-the-line Spider-Man product. And of course, I also have the memories of it, being younger when I played it. That's going to affect everything on this motherfucking list. This is a rose-tinted list if I have ever seen one. And yet it is still good as fuck. My opinions are good. But another opinion I have is, what is number 17? Number 17 is another Amnesia game. And it's Amnesia the Bunker. Yeah, this fucking game came out like 2 years ago or some shit. 3 years ago? 23, I think. June of 23. And since then, it has crept its way up my list of favorite games very fucking quickly. I played the game 3 times, shortly after it came out, because it's immensely replayable. And I fell more in love with the whole thing, like, every time I played it. Every time I finished it. Gonna ring the bell again. I've made a video on it. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction of the corner that it'll pop up in. I think it's a really good video. I think it's like a top 3 video of mine. I don't want to just ramble on about this game when I have a 25-30 minute video already doing so. You can find out why and how much I love The Bunker in that video. Just know that in the years that have passed since I put out that video, my love has only increased. The Bunker's standing has only increased in my eyes, and it's still great. Number 16. The only virtual reality game on this list is BONEWORKS. The Bell, it's happening, made a video about it, it's good, it's really good. Actually, probably my best video, right up there with the Amnesia one, that's for sure. Actually, all 3 of the fucking 4 out of the 5 videos, actually, no, every single video in this, so I have a whole BONEWORKS video that's over 30 minutes long. BONEWORKS was like a transcendent experience for me. It was like playing video games for the first time at age 28 or something, which is like, what a rare experience to be able to spend time with the medium that you've built your life around in some ways and experience it seemingly through new eyes. I think BONEWORKS has that power It's got all the things, it's got the level design, it's got all the systems design, but what makes it so unique is that it is in VR, and you have a full physical body as the player in VR, so you can interact with the VR space in a way that is just hard to put into words. It sweeps you away to a new world. And I also think the story is like really cool, actually. I think the story and the world of BONEWORKS is like sort of under-discussed in that the narrative is just freaky, man. It's just a freaky concept. And yes, the meat of the narrative is not explored, but the telling is in the doing with BONEWORKS. It is you, if you just stop and think about what you're doing, the negative space of the story is filled out with your imagination in a way that I love and I think is really strategic. You play as a person that was involved in the creation of the most realistic virtual world ever made. This is an alternate future, or alternate reality, really an alternate past, where all this stuff was done in the 90s, and this virtual system called MythOS, created by Arthur Ford, your player character, and other people. It was like an amazing product, but I don't think it ever came out, basically because the people who created it realized that they had found something. They reached into the virtual world and they looked so deep that they found something there. And pardon me if I'm miscommunicating the story or misunderstanding it. I very well might be. It's a very vague story, and this is kind of the way that I have internalized it and processed it and engaged with it. But you're playing as Arthur Ford, who is basically drawn to this creature, this force, this incomprehensible void deep inside of MythOS, inside of this alternate reality that actually turns out to be real. And so your character is overcome by that and has to get there, has to get to it, has to let it out. And so you're never really informed as to what Arthur Ford's motivation is, why he's going so deep into MythOS to try to get to the heart of it and access. His goal is to become immortal, or to cross over to the other side, far enough into this virtual dimension to what? I don't know. Nobody really knows, I don't think. What will happen to him after he reaches the end, after he accomplishes his goal? Will he disappear from our reality? Will he become something else? Will he unleash something? Will he be lost in the darkness? Will he die? What? I think all those questions are so compelling and so scary and so interesting. And I think it makes Arthur Ford such a dynamic and not dynamic, but interesting, compelling character, to where it's like, why is he doing this? Has he gone insane? Are you playing as an insane person who is running to his death, or who is running to the end of the world potentially, or to the discovery of a whole new world? Like, I love that this story is left so vague. It's like fucking Dark Souls, goddammit. It's really great story by omission. You know, it's full of questions. It just gives you the premise and the main character's goal, and it just lets the adventure speak for itself. The strangeness of the place you're in and the strangeness of your end goal really informs the whole experience in a way that makes it really eerie and creepy and stirring at a deeper level that I find to be very disturbing. All the narrative stuff in BONEWORKS is very, very fucking cool. And I'm curious to see how they're going to expand upon it. I kind of don't want it expanded upon. I hope they retain the mystery. I don't know. I don't know what SLZ is going to do. Also, Michael Wyckoff's score is incredible. The score for BONEWORKS is one of the best video game scores ever, in my opinion. It's like a top 20 video game score ever. 15, yet another game I made a video on. One of my favorite videos of mine, Deadly Premonition. I don't even want to go into this one because I'll just never stop talking. But it is the video game equivalent of the best B-movie you have ever watched. The kind of B-movie that you like hate on first watch, but then you're compelled to come back to it, and every time you watch it more and more, you start to respect it more and more and see the actual artistic intent behind the dog shit. And there is a lot of dog shit in Deadly Premonition, let me fucking tell you that. Depending on the version that you play, you might get a Deadly Premonition that just doesn't even work. The Switch port is terrible, and that's the version that I played. Sounds don't work. The sound balancing is insane. The graphics look terrible. It plays horribly. It's just, everything a game could do badly, it does badly, except for some things. The PC port, I think, is also terrible. It just crashes all the time. My partner played it with a friend, and it was apparently crashing every hour. But yeah, otherwise, if you get past all that stuff, you're in for one of the most interesting games you'll play in your entire life. It is its own, all that it is deadly premonition. I'm just gonna cut it off there. Okay, so, we gotta have a Resident Evil game. No list is complete without at least one Resident Evil game, because there are like 20 of them, and at least 12 of them are some of the best horror games ever made. Resident Evil 2 remake, I think, very well might be the best survival horror game ever made. The originals are classics. You can never beat them. You can never replace them. And I'm glad they're accessible right now. I've been doing a playthrough of the original 2 and 3 on my PlayStation 5 since the ports got released a little while ago in 2025 or 26. Talk about a reimagining that keeps the heart of what is great about the game, but turns it into something entirely new. It's a game with so much steez, so much polish. It's just slick as a motherfucker. I play through it once every year or two because it's short, you know, you don't have to do both playthroughs each time. And every time I go back to it, I'm like a puppy. Like, every time is the first time for me. It's hard to talk about this game because I could literally just sum it up in that everything is the best that it's ever been in any horror game. Like, the monsters, the animation, the character stuff. The narrative is simple but fantastic. Very well reimagined. The graphics are beautiful, stunning, shocking. The boss battles, incredible, memorable, lovable. And Mr. X. You can't forget the standout. Fucking Mr. X, I think, is one of the best. I mean, again, talk about influential. Probably the best antagonist in all of Resident Evil, just because of how he works gameplay-wise, how he can just pop up anywhere and you can't stop him. All you can do is stun him. You just gotta stay away from him. The game is so designed around his presence that it just works so perfectly. He is like, without Mr. X, this game is still one of the best horror games ever made, but with Mr. X, he's the thing that pushes it over the top. And Resident Evil has not been able to replicate Mr. X properly since RE2R, which is kind of sad to me. Lady Dimitrescu, kind of, but more linear. She appears at more scripted spots. She's not around as long. Jack Baker is a close second because Jack Baker, I feel like, obviously sort of inspired the way that they did it in this game because that was a few years earlier. I'm just saying that Mr. X is fucking amazing. I'm just glazing Mr. X. That's all I'm doing. Now for the most insane thing on this list, I'm going to put Resident Evil 6 above Resident Evil 2 Remake. And there is no punchline. This is the truth. This is actually happening. Look, Resident Evil 6 got me through a very hard time, and so it means a lot to me, so you just gotta respect it. Everybody's clicked off of the video right now. Before you go, SpongeBob meme. Resident Evil 6 has the best combat in any Resident Evil game. Except that's not actually true anymore, because Resident Evil 9 came out like a month ago, and it's probably better, but I still think Resident Evil 6 is my favorite combat in the Resident Evil series. RE6 just has so many moves. The combat is so dynamic. I have over 100 hours in Resident Evil 6, and probably 50 of those are in Mercenaries. Mercenaries is the best it's ever been across the entire Resident Evil series, and yeah, the game is just a heck of a lot of fun. Like, I just kick it on all the time. Constantly, I'm kicking this fucking game on to play Mercenaries, or to play through one of the chapters in Chris's campaign, or one of the later chapters in Leon's campaign. I think a lot of people take umbrage with this game's story and with all the campaigns, and I don't blame them, because there is some shit in this game that is just unforgivably terrible. Unforgivably terrible. The Ada campaign is just absolute ass. A lot of Jake's is just like low mid. The opening to Leon's campaign is pretty fucking dog shit. The only campaign that I'd say is consistently good is Chris's, both gameplay-wise and narratively. I think Chris has the strongest arc of the game by far, and I think it's one of the strongest character arcs and journeys in the entire series. I think there's a lot of emotion put into it, and if you just take it for what it is, which is a fucking B movie, which is what so much of this series is, then you'll enjoy the fuck out of it. Now, I take umbrage with the people who are taking umbrage with this game because I think a lot of people just, for some reason, when this game came out, people just thought it was too goofy or thought it was too action-centric, and like Resident Evil is always goofy and it is always action-centric. And for some reason, this game just became maligned in its tone and its narrative execution because yes, the story is janky and rickety, but so many of these fucking stories in Resident Evil are janky and rickety. Nobody comes to these games for immersive, deep, compelling fucking webs of narratives. Hell no. We come here for schlocky bullshit, and that's what Resident Evil 6 is, and it is more schlocky and more bullshitty than some of the other ones, but I think it makes up for that in its ambition and Chris's arc and some of the stuff that happens with Leon. There's a lot of fun character stuff and a lot of great character payoffs for longtime fans of the series. I think Resident Evil 6 is fucking great, despite its obvious and numerous flaws, and I think it deserves a lot more respect. I see a little bit of the sentiment shifting. You know, it's been shifting slowly over the years, but I think this one will always be looked at as the one that almost killed the series, because it almost kind of did, at least in terms of the critical and fan reception. It really shifted the series into 7, which was totally different, but also it's one of the most like monetarily fruitful games in the Resident Evil series. It made a lot of fucking money, so it didn't really almost kill the series, I don't think. I just think they got too big for their britches and tried to go too big, but to me that's part of what makes the game so endearing. And play it with a friend. Play it with a friend that can also laugh at B-movie shit and can also laugh at bullshit, have fun with the story, get hyped at the hype moments. Just take it for what it is, which is stupid. I say so lovingly, by the way. Number 12. We're past our Resident Evil block, but continuing our survival horror trend. Yeah, number 12 is Dying Light. If I'm known for making videos about like any series, it is probably the Dying Light series, because I've got multiple Dying Light videos that are over 1 million views, which, you know, grand scheme YouTube, those are small fry numbers, but I think people come to me for my Dying Light opinions to some degree, and it's because I love the series. It's because I clearly love the series, and I'm clearly, you know, up on it, up on the news of the series. I follow it very closely because I'm a very dedicated Dying Light fan. And I know that's like saying, like, I'm a very dedicated Marvel fan or something like that. I don't know. It's like, it's not like, again, this is not a Citizen Kane of gaming sort of title. It is a zombie action-adventure game. But I also don't want to talk down on it, because it is an incredibly high-quality product. Yeah, the story is schlocky and forgettable, but it's not that bad. It's fun. It's fun if you go into it the same way you go into RE6, just ready for an action-adventure that, I don't know, is fine. Some characters that are fine. I don't know, you might get a kick out of it. Other than that, like, what it does with its gameplay, like, no other zombie game has come even close to fucking being Dying Light. No fucking nothing. Not even fucking close. Not Days Gone. Not fucking, I don't know, not Days Gone. Probably the best zombie game out there. I think Dying Light the Beast has been a great follow-up as well. I don't think it's, you know, still not the first game. Dying Light 2 and the Beast, they haven't reached the heights of the first game, but Techland's getting there. They always want to make a different game. Dying Light 2 is a very different game. Dying Light the Beast did different things as well. They always want to play with their formula. So I'm still sort of waiting for a real traditional sequel. I feel like I'm really still waiting for Dying Light 2, again, that takes these systems and builds upon them. Dying Light the Beast is close. We'll get there someday, I think. Techland really listens to people. Regardless, it's an amazing open world game. It takes the Ubisoft formula and zombifies it and makes it not dog shit by adding personality to it, by making it a little less icon driven. The world feels more dynamic to explore. The combat is best in class, best in the industry, first-person melee combat. The parkour, also top of its class. No other first-person parkour game is doing it like Dying Light. And then you have its world, its huge environment. It's so dense. There's so many interiors. It's so detailed. Then you have the day-night cycle, which changes the game based on what time of day you're playing. It gives you 2 different experiences. It is endlessly replayable. You can play it in 4-player co-op. Like, God, I could talk for hours. I have talked for hours about Dying Light, about what makes it so good. I mean, so stand out. And I will keep preaching the gospel of Dying Light until I fucking can't preach no more. Number 11, so close to the top 10 now. It is a recent game, and it's not even a full game. It is a mod. For a 25-plus-year-old game, this is Thief, the Black Parade. This is a recent addition to my list. You know, this is probably the most recent addition. I played it in 2024. It is a 10-mission narrative campaign mod for Thief Gold, and it's just one of the best immersive sims you can possibly play. You can get Thief Gold for like pennies on the dollar on Steam, and then you can get this fucking thing for goddamn free. And this like 7-year mod that took almost a decade to make, from the, you know, creators of, there's an original Thief dev on the team that made this. There's an Arcane developer who worked on, I believe, Deathloop. I think it's probably right now working on the Blade game. There are real industry professionals who put this thing together. It's 10 missions. It's really the Thief 3 that Looking Glass Studios never got to make. I really don't want to talk too much about it to spoil it, because it is like, it's a game I want to make a video about, and no promises if I ever can get that out, because it's going to be a long one, but I have written tens of thousands of words about it already, so hopefully we'll get that out in the world at some point. It's really worthy of a video, and I have a lot of thoughts on Black Parade, as well as Metal Age and Gold, which I consider the Thief trilogy, really. If you need a good immersive sim, download Thief Gold, and then get the fan mission editor, or fan mission, you know, portal, really. FM Cell. Get that set up. Play Black Parade. You're not gonna fucking regret it. Number 10. One of 2 Yakuza games in my top 10. We got 2 Yakuza games coming up just in this fucking 10. I love these goddamn games. I love them. Yakuza is just such a special series. There's nothing like it. It's so uniquely Yakuza. The characters and the story have impacted me in so many different ways. I love to talk about it ad nauseum. I love to talk about the characters, yap about their arcs, about their implications, about their journeys, their individual stories. There's so much going on with these characters. Kazuma Kiryu is one of the best protagonists in video game history. Goro Majima is also one of the best protagonists in game history, even though he's only been the protagonist of this game and one other game that's kind of dog shit. This really is kind of the peak of the Yakuza series. It's got the perfect balance of all the things, and really the 2 main things are its sense of fucking whimsy and mirth, and its fucking ultra serious, brutal, grounded intensity. And it makes for a perfect sandwich of a weird tone that it just knows, that the Yakuza series in general knows how to juggle perfectly. It knows how to fluctuate between really intense crime drama and really weird, exaggerated, surreal, like slice of life kind of city adventure stuff. So tonally, the series is one of a kind, and this game really nails the gritty crime drama stuff almost better than any of the other games. The stories are convoluted to the point of absurdity, but they really pull you through constantly. It's like a really, really long show with all kinds of twists and turns, all kind of reveals. Like, your head is spinning every time a fucking chapter of Yakuza 0 ends. So many characters, so many plots and schemes layered and interacting. So yeah. Play it just for the plot, but then also you get an incredible open world. Not really semi-open world. It's not like GTA 6 or anything. It's a very curated, hand-done, detailed open world where every step feels lived in and considered. It's packed with mini-games, side activities, amazing, entertaining, goofy, shocking side quests and side content. And we cannot forget the combat, which is some of the best brawler combat out there. Well, okay, I'm actually lying. That's not true. It's just really good brawler combat. It just feels really good and looks really good and makes you feel like a badass. It's not technically like some of the best beat 'em up or hack and slash kind of gameplay out there. I'd say it's like upper mid in the pack, upper intermediate in terms of the skill ceiling and the real feel of it and all that kind of stuff. I think it's really, really good, but not the best shit ever. Still, the combat more than holds up the experience on that end. And it is a really, core pillar. It's like really the core gameplay pillar outside of the city exploration and all the other weird shit. It's got the story, it's got the combat, it's got the world, it's got the characters. It's a 10 out of 10. It's one of the fucking best games I've ever played in my whole life, and I love it. We're getting into sort of the basic bitch category here, because number 9 is Dark Souls. But I mean, of course number 9 is Dark Souls. Dark Souls is Dark Souls. Who's gonna contest this placement? Who's gonna be like, oh, you have Dark Souls in your top 10? Like, if you tell me, like, go fuck yourself. You're just being a contrarian fake person that I've made up and gotten angry at now. Dark Souls is the game of the century for so many people for a reason. It is so defining of what action games are nowadays, what action adventure games are. I mean, it created a whole subgenre of Souls-likes. You know, there are studios out there that were born out of this game in order to make a game that was kind of like this, to capture even a flicker, an ember of the flame that this fucking game lit in the early 2010s. The world design is immaculate and probably the best From Software has still ever done. They still really haven't replicated the Dark Souls, the really linked feel of exploring a whole kingdom without these loading screens where just all the places, they just go into each other. You walk from place to place, you walk around the whole goddamn kingdom and it feels so natural, and you can see other places from atop hills and mountains, and you can see valleys from other places. Oh, hey, look, that's that place I was at 20 hours ago. There's that place I'm going to go to in 20 hours. Really world-class level design. And the combat as well. Super influential, super simple, but it's, you know, based on... Why am I telling you what the fuck Dark Souls is? Why am I stopping to tell you what Dark Souls is? What can I say that somebody else hasn't said? Can I say anything? I just really hate the basilisks is all. Alright, next up in the normie row is... The Last of Us. I know. Throw your tomatoes at me, you contrarian motherfuckers out there, but I don't know, man. This game is, again, just like Dark Souls, just like a couple of the other games here, like, even if maybe the sentiment has sort of shifted on it a little bit, I think it's one of the best games of its decade. I think it's one of the best games of the century. I think it's one of the most influential games of the century, surely, and impactful for the medium. I think it made it's like Dark Souls sort of created a genre, which is like the third person over the shoulder Sony cinematic genre. Things like God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Days Gone. I think all of these titles trickle down from The Last of Us in a lot of ways, and for good reason. I mean, it's not a wholly unique game in any capacity, really. Everything that it does comes from something else you've seen done in some other form, in some other medium, in some other lifetime, you know. But all of its influences come together to create something that is just really powerful and driven by raw emotion at its core. Raw human emotion and human experience drives this game and puts it above so many others. And I think all of that really is distilled down into the two lead performances. Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson. They're the heart of it. It's just really two great characters going on a journey. I'm literally getting chills just saying the characters' names. You know, it's a simple story, but it's told with such skill, such a deft hand at navigating the emotions and the really gritty and uncomfortable situations. The drama is so heightened. It's about the end of the world. It's about the hope for the beginning of a new world. But it's also just about fathers and daughters and the relationship of family and what you would do for your family. I just know that one of the few times I've cried in a video game is the opening like 20 minutes of this game. I love the perspective shift when the car crashes and you shift from Sarah to Joel. I think that's like such a simple design decision, but one that is so careful and so important to everything that happens. Living as that girl for the first 20 minutes is like, whew. And the gameplay is great. The gameplay is, like the story, efficient, lean, but very well done. Cinematic, dynamically cinematic, you know? It feels like you're always living the most intense movie scene you can imagine. It's like every action scene feels like the fucking shootout between Shigur and the Josh Brolin character in the streets in No Country for Old Men. Every fucking firefight has that intensity. So that's what the game has going for it, and that's what the sequel also has going for it, even though I know a lot of people, myself included really, have dogged on the sequel for not expanding the gameplay and for, you know, the sequel is a whole complicated matter. There's lots of stuff that goes into the discussion of that game. But I think there's just a grittiness and a rawness to the bare bones gameplay of The Last of Us that gives it an atmosphere and a survival horror intensity that not a lot of games have replicated. It's just really, really, really good. The ending as well. One of my favorite endings of anything. Book, movie, show, game, anything. When that fucking music swells up, when that guitar gets strummed, right before Ellie says the last word, like, this is, oh my god, I'm gonna make myself cry. It's just like, it's that good. It's that good. Moving on from something that's gonna make me cry to another thing that's gonna make me cry is our second Yakuza game in the top 10, and it is Yakuza Like a Dragon. My favorite Yakuza game is a turn-based Yakuza game, which to fans of the series might be blasphemous, but also I'm very familiar with the discourse of the Yakuza series and the Yakuza fans, and many, many, many people put this up as either the second best Yakuza game or in the top 3, and for good reason. Perfect distillation of everything that makes the previous games great, with an entirely new, very good turn-based combat system. Now, very good means different things to different people. I don't play a lot of turn-based games, so to me it's really good, but, you know, I've only played a little bit of Persona 5, a little bit of Shin Megami Tensei, a little bit of fucking Metaphor ReFantazio, that kind of stuff. I've only dipped my toes into the turn-based realm, so don't really trust me on this if you're a big fan of turn-based stuff and haven't played this and are thinking of doing so because it's turn-based. I don't know. I think most people, fans of turn-based games, agree that it's very simplistic. I think Like a Dragon's turn-based combat is held up by its comedy, which is an interesting thing. It is an extremely funny turn-based combat system. God, it's crazy. It's a crazy fucking adventure from start to finish. My God, the twists and turns the story takes are so absurd and unpredictable. It's like, God, it's insane. The game is really built up out of a series of miniature arcs, and the whiplash from arc to arc, especially in the first like half of the game, is so crazy and so ballsy and weird and like compelling. You're just like, you don't even know what the hell's gonna happen next, ever. And yeah, it's built around a series of wonderful characters, a really, poppy cast of archetypal, funny, dynamic characters, filling out a world that is replete with the side content that Yakuza is known for, but even more of it than Zero, which is right up there at the top of the series with 7. The narrative. I've implied in these past couple of minutes that it's good. It's crazy. It'll ping pong you around from scenario to scenario, and they're all weird and unexpected in their own ways and keep you guessing. But by the end of it all, there's a scene, sort of a 10-minute cutscene that is the real conclusion to the main character's arc and the main villain's arc. And that scene is so beautiful and so well written and well performed. It's just one of my favorite exchanges of dialogue, one of my favorite scenes in any form of media. There's so much heart to it, and there's so much history to the characters and to where they are and what they're doing and why they're talking about it, what's happening. It's just, oh God. I cried. My girlfriend cried. God, I'm exhausted. I'm sure you can tell. I've been yapping for a long goddamn time now. We're so close to the end here. I'm sorry if I'm not giving these last ones their due diligence, but number 6, a game I've talked about on the channel before, so we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on it, Dishonored 2. I guess technically it has to be my favorite immersive sim because it's number 6, although I think maybe I'd swap it with Black Parade depending on the day. But it is a hell of an immersive sim. Stealth and action done to just like the most professional quality imaginable. Best in the world shit all over Dishonored 2. Best in the world fucking art design. Oh my God, the way Karnaka looks. Holy fucking hell. The characters are just so like textural and shaped so oddly. It's just, God, the art as a whole is staggering. And then you have the level design, which I made a whole video about the level design of this game in particular. And it is, I don't know, maybe the best level design that has ever been done. If you want to study level design, if you want to become a professional in the industry, you need to fucking play Dishonored 2. You need to see how they did it. You need to break it down. I did that in my very first editorial video on Purposeless Rabbit Holes, and it was like a really exhilarating experience to go through and pick apart on a design level what makes these levels so interesting and why they're so well done. Because they're so lived in. They feel so real. Every space feels like like you're in it. Traversing each space makes so much sense. These feels like really real places, architecturally built from the ground up in a city with history and culture. It'll blow you away. And I will always hold Dishonored 2 close to my heart because it is the first game that inspired me to make YouTube videos in the way that I do still to this day. If I'm known for anything in my entire life at this point, it is, you know, my fucking goofy ass YouTube channel, and the state that it's in now, it would never have reached that without Dishonored 2 inspiring me in the way that it did. Just go watch that fucking video. And here we are. Top 5. Number 5. One of the most intelligently made games I have ever encountered. Nier Automata. Nier Automata is a game that loves games, made by a man who clearly is made of games. He might be a game. Yoko Taro might be a video game character that somehow popped out of a game and now lives in our reality. I'm not really sure. See, he seems to have a sort of supernatural connection with the medium of games in a way that makes him sort of a savant or a genius. And that gets us games like Nier Automata. Again, another game that has made me cry. It was specifically the dialogue sequence. It's literally words on a page, basically, during the second time you fight the dancer when you're... Spoilers... never mind. Just I'm not even gonna spoil anything. All that matters is that that sequence is exquisitely written, as is the entire rest of the game. From a micro dialogue level to a macro plotting and thematic level. It does so many amazing things with its themes and the questions it asks. It's a game that asks a lot of questions and dares to not give you a lot of answers. It's a very ponderous story and a very ponderous experience about life and death and meaning and meaninglessness. It'll just leave you with a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings. But also, it's got big titty hot ass babes that swing giant ass swords to cut giant robots in half. This is a game that manages to be smart and deep and thoughtful and profound while never taking itself too seriously, while never granting itself a higher sense of importance than what is earned by the work. It can be really, really goddamn funny. It's one of the funniest fucking games I've ever played. There's a scene where the little robots put on a Shakespeare play, and it's one of my favorite pieces of side content in like any game. Oh my god, there's an NPC in the world. You meet an NPC called Machine on a Break. I love this little man. I would do anything for this little man. And there's a part of the game where something happens and he might potentially be in danger. I ran to Machine on a Break. I ran to find my man. Nothing could happen to him, right? He has to be okay, right? Guess what? He's fine. And you know why? 'Cause he took a motherfucking break. If you take nothing else from this game, take the philosophy of Machine on a Break. Don't do anything with your life. Alright, number 4. Timesplitters. Future Perfect. You might be saying, Charlie, what is this game? That's not even the best Timesplitters game. And to that I say, I don't really know. I think it's good. I think it's the best Timesplitters game. As a matter of fact, I think fucking Timesplitters Future Perfect is one of the best first-person shooters of its era, and to me, one of the best first-person shooters ever fucking made. First off, it controls better than Timesplitters 2. You know, Timesplitters 2 was made before sort of modern shooter control schemes were more refined and homogenized, and Timesplitters Future Perfect is just more playable to the modern hand as a result, and I do factor that into a degree. I love Timesplitters 3's story. Timesplitters 2 had a much more sort of anthology structure, just like the first game, where you play as Cortez, but not really, you play as other characters. Timesplitters 3 decides that Cortez is the main character now, and you're gonna play as him on his adventure to stop the Time War, or whatever the fuck. Fucking Sergeant Cortez. Oh my god, I love Sergeant Cortez so much. He's such a simple character, but he's so fucking funny. Timesplitters was made by a British team, and I feel like Cortez, despite not being British, is like a quintessentially British character.
This should take us to Crow's secret lab.
I'm ready.
I pressed it already.
Yeah, right. So, been with the agency long?
Yeah. 3 years in May.
You get dental?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
He is really underplayed in a lot of moments. He's also sort of a caricature of an American action hero, which I think is funny. You know, he looks like Vin Diesel. That's part of it. He's just unexpected, sort of, in the way he behaves sometimes. Like, sometimes he is a straight up idiot, but other times he is competent. I don't think he is an incompetent agent or sergeant, you know, or action hero. I think what makes him so interesting is that he can make mistakes, and he is kind of bumbling, but he is also equipped for the job. You just don't really know which part of him you're gonna get. You know, like, he's sometimes awkward, or he's sometimes like super on the ball. I don't know. He's very lovable. I would describe him as lovable. Future Perfect is also equipped with everything that modern shooters are not, by the way. That's also a big part of this, is that it has a fucking fantastic level editor. One of the things that really got me into game design, I make fucking games for a living. I have for many years at this point, and I don't know if I would be doing that nowadays if it wasn't for the fucking level editor in Timesplitters, the grid-based, simplistic level editor that gave me a taste of what designing games could feel like, and a taste of the art form of making games. And this is a sidebar, but it's why I'm so sad that so few games come with level editors nowadays, because I think they're so important to give kids a taste of that. Inspiring future artists. I think it's really important, and I wish to see the resurgence of level editors built into games, like it is in Timesplitters, like it was in Far Cry, you know, 4 and 5. That kind of shit is king to me. I love it. I don't know, Future Perfect just, it's got that heart. Clearly a product of passion. They were having a lot of fun making it. It's just the kind of game where they threw everything at the wall, and they waited to see what stuck, and a lot of it stuck, because clearly this was a team full of very talented people at the apex of their creative abilities at a perfect time period where they could make this sort of raunchy, weird, goofy, absurdist, gonzo game. And I think it has aged wonderfully. Still great today, just sad that you can't find more places to play it, find more marketplaces to buy it on. And on to our last 7 out of 10 of today's list. It is the GOAT, the greatest superhero game, well, I guess really supervillain game out there today, still. Oh my lord, oh my love, Prototype. Oh, I love Prototype. There is nothing like it to this day. Why didn't this spawn a fucking genre of Prototype likes? This is a game about playing as a god of destruction, a wrathful fucking demon of hatred who just absorbs the living and uses them to fuel his rage. And it's spectacularly over the top, insane. The tech that drives it, I think, is still really interesting to this day. The fact that they were able to render so many characters on a fucking Xbox 360 in 2009, I think. Like, to this day, there's hundreds of characters on screen in that game, and it looks amazing. The cityscapes are so chaotic, exceptionally chaotic. You don't see that in a lot of places outside of like Dynasty Warriors games, but Prototype doesn't feel like a Dynasty Warriors game. It has the traversal that those types of games don't really have, and the traversal is a huge part of it. It's that mix of super huge scale action where you're the center of attention, you're the fucking wrecking ball going through the city, combat wise, destroying tanks with your bare fucking hammer fists, but then you leap away across the skyline and collide into a helicopter at fucking Mach 10. It's crazy. It's crazy ass shit. And I want a successor to it so bad, and I want to work on a successor to it so bad. Oh my god. The things I would do to be able to work on Prototype 3. And I bet it's probably happening somewhere right now. I wish I could get in on it. Maybe if there's some kind of announcement, I'll try to get my sticky fingers in it. But I have a whole story for Prototype 3. I have a game design document for Prototype 3. I made an entire 45-minute video about my pitch of Prototype 3. And that was like 7 years ago or some shit at this point, and my idea for Prototype 3 has only grown and been solidified and chipped away at for all that time. I think I could make a really goddamn good Prototype 3 if I'm being real. However, that is not what we're talking about right now. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the original game, which I think is great. I think that's really all I gotta say. I think my love for Prototype is well known because I'm very fucking loud about it. Something I have also been loud about, but not as loud as I should be, is my number 2, which is Disco Elysium. Probably another, normie pick, if I'm being real. That's a critical consensus choice right there. Oh, you picked Disco. Oh, Disco Elysium's your second favorite game ever? Okay. Oh, great. Oh, that's really cool. But I mean, what the fuck? It's Disco Elysium. It's a fucking masterpiece. I don't know if there has ever been a better video game made than Disco Elysium. If Disco Elysium was a book, it would be my favorite book ever. The writing is of such a high quality, of such a, oh god, it just gets into you. It just seeps into your soul and your heart and your veins. And it will never leave. It can't leave. You're stuck with it. But I am so thankful for that. I'm so thankful that I experienced this story and have experienced it twice. I've done two playthroughs, and both playthroughs felt very different. I just followed my heart in my first playthrough. Tried to not be too crazy, didn't really go for any specific build. The second time, I played as a detective who knows that this is going to be his last case and that he's going to die either by killing himself or by drinking himself to death in the very near future, so that's the way he handles it. Those two different takes on the story really gave me a whole different experience. And also gave me context for just how dynamic the RPG systems and the core narrative, how great those things are. Like, you play as a set character, as you do in, say, The Witcher 3, an RPG with another set character. But the way you can work within the main character of Disco Elysium, Harry Dubois, the way you can shape him into a different person in different playthroughs really is impressive. The best I've seen that done, which dovetails into, the systems, the RPG systems that govern this game. This has everything an RPG needs. The writing is probably the best writing I've ever heard in an RPG. The prose is just profound and beautiful, but never pretentious. Again, just like Nier Automata, it's a game that knows how to balance its tones, that knows when to be funny, and I do think probably it is the funniest game I've ever played. The game that has made me laugh the hardest. And it is also the game that has made me cry, I think, the most times. I think I cried probably 3 times across Disco Elysium's 50 hours, 60 hours that it took me to beat it. Something like that, maybe less. It leaves nothing on the table in terms of the themes it wants to explore, the things it wants to say, what it wants to fucking do to you. And so it has the writing, and it has the gameplay systems. It has unique gameplay systems that I've never really seen in any other game. There's a thought cabinet system where your character can internalize things that he learns when talking to people, walking around the world, and that'll shape sort of dialogue options you have later down the line, and thoughts that you can have, and things like that. So really robust gameplay systems to back up the story. The world, oh my god. The world of Disco Elysium is just full of history and meaning and secrets. Tiny human details, the kind of things that only a really, really great writer sees in people, in interactions, in humanity. Those kind of little things that only the greatest writers can pull forth and put into art. That kind of stuff appears in Disco Elysium all over the place. It's a 10 out of 10 RPG. It's one of the best games ever made. I think that's less subjective and more kind of a consensus at this point. Yeah, play Disco Elysium if you haven't. Number 1 is Bloodborne. I mean, what do you expect with that tattoo? Yeah, Bloodborne's probably the best game ever made. That's like a fact, really. Combat, 10 out of 10. Narrative, world, characters, 10 out of 10. Environment and level design and art design, 10 out of 10. Weapons, characters, I think I already said characters, again, bosses, 10 out of 10. Endings, 10 out of 10. Hub world, upgrades and stats, build availability, DLC, 10 out of 10 across the board. Everything about it's perfect. There are fucking 10 million video essays you could watch right now that will more effortlessly and efficiently and elegantly break down what about Bloodborne is so incredible. But you've probably heard it all before. You probably know it, you probably played the game, and you probably know it personally. It is the Eldritch video game. It explores that type of horror and does it better than any other game ever. It also does gothic horror pretty much better than any game that exists, that is playable. I have over 500 hours in this thing. I have played it from start to finish probably 6 or 7 times. I know the world of Yharnam so well, but still, there are secrets. I haven't done all the Chalice dungeons. Even, you know, it's been out for, what, 11, 12 years at this point. I still haven't done all the Chalice dungeons. I think that means I still haven't defeated 1 or 2 of the bosses, which is crazy. The bosses I have fought are some of the best ever programmed, ever gifted to us by the gaming gods. I think the Orphan of Kos is probably my favorite single boss fight. The enemies, oh my god, there's so many memorable enemies in this fucking game. The fucking goofy, big-headed fucking aliens. The werewolves. Some of my favorite werewolf designs ever across all media. I could break down every detail about this game if I, you know, committed to really having a discussion dedicated to it. But I would need to do that because there's really so much to talk about. The themes of femininity and motherhood are so interesting. There's a lot going on in Bloodborne. And those are my fucking top 50 favorite games ever made. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the discussion. I hope you think my list is as based as it is. Because, I mean, look at this fucking list. This is a list with, like, the critically acclaimed best games of all time by, like, I don't know, every fucking outlet. You look on Metacritic, I'm sure Disco Elysium is, like, the best thing ever. And then you have fucking, like, Second Sight. You got Jade Empire, nobody's favorite BioWare game. Fucking Darksiders 2. People don't even have to say that's the best Darksiders game. 2 Yakuza games in the top 10. Based! 2 Resident Evil games in a row with Resident Evil 6 above Resident Evil 2. Based. The thinking man's organization of Resident Evil games. Thank you. Okay, let's get rid of me for a second and then sort of center this. There it is. Numbered and everything. My top 50 favorite games ever. I am proud of this list. I think it's a good one. I think there's lots of good shit on it. It's got a lot of variety of well, not that much variety, but I don't know. It's got indie games, it's got AAA, it's got something from the 90s and the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s. It's got strategy, it's got action, it's got adventure, first person, third person, all kinds of good stuff. Sports games, a couple of those, weird shit. I love it. I hope you loved it. I love you. I don't actually love you. I do not know who you are, but I hope you enjoyed the video regardless, and have a good night. Or day. I don't know what time it is for you. Okay, bye.